Yeah, I think Kamal, the TQQ trade we had, I think we were pretty actively discussing on the group. So I think I did make my exit at 23.8, and it did go further. But yeah, still looking at opportunities for re-entry. I think that's what we'll discuss today. Apart from that, I think the NDAQ trade went well, and so I have re-entered, and yeah, it's there in my analysis, and we'll see how that goes.
Yes, awesome. So rightly mentioned, Gaurav, even I exited my TQQ trade on 23.85 and entered in SQQ as I was expecting correction after the earnings of the major tech stocks. So let's wait for what I have in my mind in terms of coming week based on what we see on the charts for the indexes and also the major
Oh,
stocks.
absolutely, yeah.
Mhm. Hi, I'm in S triple Q, 33.25. I entered and I'm holding S triple Q.
Awesome. That's great. So
Yeah.
even I am on SQQ with considerable quantity. So let's see what we have in the coming week. So we will start with our normal format. We'll be starting the analysis of the major indexes first, and then we will go on to the stocks. So we'll start with DJI, and as you can see, this is the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, it is just above the upper Bollinger Band. However, if you notice closely, the candle that is formed is almost doji, but with a slightly longer upper week. You could also call it gravestone, not entirely gravestone. It looks as doji with all the EMAs still under it and a bit of, if you look at the highs, kind of lower highs except the last week. I'm expecting a bit of downtrend in the coming week. If you look on the daily chart, it's even more clear. On 1st of Feb, just before the uh, earnings after the Fed meeting, there was the price, it almost touched the upper Bollinger Band and has started correcting. And in fact, on the daily chart, you can clearly see the last candle is gravestone doji. All the indicators are downward. So the weekly chart was not clearly indicating the downtrend, but it's clearly evident on the daily chart. For those who are on inverse ETFs like SQQ, the coming week could be good. Although we are currently looking at DJI, once we look at Nasdaq, it would be more clear. The indicators are bearish. So for those who had opened their position couple of weeks back or last week at the start of the week and hasn't booked your profit, it's good time that you close your positions and book if you are already in profitable trade. The next entry for those who are trading based on DJI, 33,000 would be the entry that you should be watching for re-entry, which is also close to the lower Bollinger Band and EMA, especially the EMA 200 close to 32,900. We should be expecting these levels in about a week or two. So this week, just watch closely for the bearish trend. Any questions on DJI? there are no questions, we will move to the next index, Nasdaq. Let's start with the weekly chart. So on the Nasdaq, it has touched the upper Bollinger Band, the EMA levels here. You can clearly notice from the indicators, Williams R is at -13, CCI is at 220, MACD with slightly decreasing histogram. It's an indication of oversold region, and that oversold region it has reached based on the expected news that came out of the Fed meeting. And although anticipation would have been that the tech earnings would take this up, since most of the indicators were already in overbought region, the correction was anticipated, at least on the technical indicators. It was clear on the charts in uh, technical terms. So right now, it on the weekly chart, it has touched the upper Bollinger Band. This EMA would act as resistance on the weekly chart. And if it acts as resistance on the weekly chart, you can see the effect on daily chart. On Thursday, it touched the upper Bollinger Band, and on Friday, it has formed clear gravestone doji with good volumes, with considerable volume. The indicators have clearly turned downward. 200 EMA is at 11,660, currently at 12,000. This gap up which had happened on Thursday, you can easily expect this gap to get closed either on Monday or on Tuesday. What would be interesting is to see whether this 200 EMA 11,660 acts as support, and can Nasdaq take support at this level and then hold. If it doesn't take support, the next levels to watch would be 11,360 and 11,150 or 11,100. I'm expecting the uptrend that has happened in couple of weeks, the coming week, to act as a correction period. And for those who are already on profit, as I mentioned during DJ as well, if you are holding any of the Nasdaq 100 stocks or index itself, it's good to book your profit at the start of market and get on inverse ETFs, or wait for the correction to identify the support levels and enter.
Kamal, I had a question. On the Nasdaq day chart, I mean, if we look at the moving averages, we'd see, there are about a couple of crossovers already happening. Probably it's just a minor configuration difference between the averages I have and you have, but essentially most averages are appearing bullish, and for a good reason, that between Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the green candles were big. There was a big gap up. Even Friday, while it closed lower than the open of Thursday, but still it was a big candle, and still it was above the gap. It's just started trying to fill the gap. Uh, do we still see that there could be a continuity in the momentum, or would it attempt to fill the gap? I mean, if the indicators look bullish, probably because the last 3 days were big candles, but what could make us feel that this could not be just one down candle and then a continuation of the uptrend, because the indicators essentially are bullish.
Yeah, so if you notice this point here, you see the orange color is 20 EMA.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Mid
there
Bollinger.
was a crossover here from down to upwards. And you can see the impact of this crossover on the next two candles. So the crossover on positive side, the impact is done. Now what you would notice, if market even opens at the current level, this blue line is EMA 10 and black line is EMA 200. Okay, so this crossover would mean small correction.
Okay.
And if you look at this CCI and Williams R, although because of the window size, you would be seeing very small. They have already turned down because of this drop on Friday. They were already in overbought region. On Thursday, Williams R was at minus 4.69 and it has closed at minus 17.98. So Williams R has already curved down. CCI was at 194, it has closed at 155. You look closely here, the histogram was on Thursday was higher than on Friday. So you are right in terms of crossovers. 4 sessions earlier, which has caused the prices to go up. If you look at the last 2 sessions, you will notice the downtrend on the daily chart. And I am using default indicators, at least for the EMS. The EMS that I have here, 10, 50, 100 and 200. And even for Williams R and CCI, I have the default values. Only for MACD, I have 13, 23 and 9.
Fair enough. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Any other questions? There are no questions.
Kamal, sorry, just one more question. The other question was, regarding, again, on NASDAQ only. If we look at the gap that's pending, and then that's between the open and the open of Friday and the close of Thursday, I think it's close to around 170 points, give or take something. Can we say that we are looking at probably a week of reversal? What about the possibility of a long wick and then a reversal back into the bullish direction? Just a matter of closing the gap and moving, because this happens pretty often as well.
Yes, that's quite a possibility, and that we could touch the 200 EMA here, which could act as support and then reversal. So as I mentioned as well, that we should be watching here whether it takes support and then reverses up or it goes further down. Since it's a 200 EMA, probability of it taking support is higher. And what you are saying could definitely happen. If it touches the 200 EMA and reverses, you would see a week. If it gives a closing on a daily basis, you would see a candle taking support at 200 EMA. And next
so
day,
these essentially then should be profit booking points for the inverse positions.
Yes, for those who are on SQQ positions or inverse ETFs, that will be profit booking time.
Yeah, thanks.
Kamal, I feel the RSI has to cool off at least till the 50 level. If it is bullish and if it reverses from there, definitely we can say that we are in a bullish trend after this.
Yes, I agree with you, Vivek, because the CCI and Williams are still in the overbought region. Even RSI, although I have not added, I'll add here since Vivek mentioned. Even RSI is currently at 67. So uh, it should cool down, come under 50, close to 30 is 30, 35 is ideal for taking a fresh position. And
I'm expecting if it is a bull trend, like or a reversal from what has happened in the last 2 years, then I expect it to bounce from 50 RSI.
right. So from the RSI perspective as well, RSI, CCI, and Williams are, it's in overbought region. So some drop in these indicators in terms of strength is expected, and that we should be seeing as a price drop in at least 2 to 3 sessions. And most likely in this week, uh, if this gap gets closed on Monday itself, then the drop might be just 2 sessions. But yes, that drop is needed for cooling of RSI and CCI and Williams R. And I noticed that I've not added super trend. If you add super trend also aligns with the uh, mid Bollinger Band level. Yeah. So as per super trend, and super trend usually gives good support and resistance levels. So as per super trend, it is aligning with the mid Bollinger Band, which means 200 EMA support, it might not be able to hold and continue further until 11,300 level, 300, 350, which would definitely bring down RSI and PCI indicator levels. Okay. So in terms of the chart, the candle formation and the indicator levels, it looks to me that the bearish sessions at least at the start of the week is highly likely, and that's why those who are on inverse positions would be good to either close their positions after seeing 2 red days, or if you want to still hold, keep, if your trading platform allows, keep a um, trailing stop loss. So if it reverses, your profit is still booked. Okay, and the levels to watch on Nasdaq is 11,600 and 11,335. If we see on QQQ, since we are talking about Nasdaq 100, the daily chart levels to watch would be 299, which is the 200 EMA, and then super trend at 288. These would be levels for those who would be watching to enter in these ETFs uh, to take it further for the bullish trend. Those who are trading QQQ will also cover, TQQ will also cover SQQ for this. So the levels to watch on TQQ, currently TQQ in the aftermarket, it has closed at 25.39. The EMA 100 is at 22.6 and super trend is 21.55, which is closer to the mid Bollinger Band, uh, which is at 21.97. So 24.39 would close the gap. However, if the downtrend, as we are discussing, we are expecting downtrend. If that continues, would be good to watch for re-entry close to 22. The mid Bollinger Band level of 21.97 and super trend 21.55. The indicators are clearly in downtrend. So even if you want to hold for long term and you are in considerable position, you could exit some quantity of it and have cash to re-enter at around close to 22 and take it further for your long-term position.
What's the re-entry you suggested?
22. The mid Bollinger Band level of 22. Super
Okay.
trend is at 21.55.
How about the resistance close to 24? I mean, I think we've seen about 3 or 4 hits at that since probably November 15th. I think there've been 3 or 4 hits at that, including the current run. So would that not be a strong enough support for a reversal? Because it would be just be the gap closure, probably hitting that support and a reversal. Do we really expect it to go down to 22?
Yes, 24 could act as support if on QQQ and Nasdaq when we saw 200 EMA level,
Mm-hmm.
but that would not act as the strong support. Looking at the indicators in terms of strength, it still need to correct further for it to drop to the oversold region. There's an indicator which you might be using. So if you look at super trend on Webull as well, and even on trading view, because you use trading view,
Right.
so it's clearly showing as 21.93 would be the strong support for entry. And on this, I think my mid Bollinger Band is with default. As of now, it is showing even lower compared to my Webull because I use EMA and SMA differently. That's why the levels are different. However, if you look at super trend, the levels are still the same, and 21.93 is showing a strong support. Putting a buy price on 22 would be good to make sure that your order executes.
Good. Okay.
Also, our SQQ part, since we are already discussing PQQ.
Kamal, if you're working on multiple screens, I think you have the wrong screen up.
Yeah, actually, Webull got closed. So
Okay.
let's go as well. I was taking that. Here. I realized that Yahoo Finance was where we were looking. So let's continue on Yahoo Finance itself. QQ. So by the way, for those who are new, I usually prefer Webull for analysis, as I find the Webull tools as more reliable, and in terms of the indicators and the levels that it shows on the Webull is easier to do the analysis. Even you can do the analysis from your mobile. Yeah, the advantage of doing analysis on Yahoo Finance is for those who are trading in the US market and Canadian market, it gives real-time quotes during the market hours. TradingView or Webull gives real-time quotes only for the US stocks, and the quotes for Canadian stocks are delayed. And that's why Yahoo Finance becomes preferable for those who are trading both the markets. Okay,
And
so
Kamal, just a small thing to add. Even at least on TradingView, I know the quote the quotes for Nasdaq as an index are delayed, but the stocks listed on Nasdaq are real time.
yes, so TradingView and Webull, the stocks they display, the quotes that they display are real time. On the pre-market hours, if someone is trading in the pre-market, just notice that the sometimes candles on TradingView might not be showing the pre-market candles. However, the price it shows as per pre-market. On
Yes.
Webull, you can see pre-market and post-market candles as well as prices happening as the trading. So only for those who are trading in the extended markets, Webull would be a good platform for doing the analysis on that and then taking trade. This is for those who are using IBKR and have not subscribed to market data. By default, IBKR and even Simple Trade gives delayed codes. Okay, so coming back to SQQ. So for SQQ, and the even if you look on the weekly chart and on daily chart, both it has touched the lower Bollinger Band. And in terms of indicators, if you look on Thursday, so inverse of, you can expect inverse of TQQ. On Thursday, it has been on over sold region -95 for Williams R, 27 for RSI, and with the last day candle, it has curved a bit up. So on the SQQ chart, it's clear a reversal of trend, and with the current level, this gap you can expect to fill that gap soon, and the next level would be this EMA 10 close to 39. If the trend continues, the super trend on the SQQ chart is close to mid Bollinger Band level of close to 42. So mid Bollinger Band is at 42.3 and super trend is showing 42.9. So if you are already on it, you can plan to exit some of your positions or majority of your position close to 39 and hold some for target of 42. And if you manage to get entry around 33, 34, or even 35, $4 on $4 profit on majority of your quantity, and then about additional $3 on that would be good. About even if you buy at 34, um, eight $8 profit is good 25% profit.
Kamal, what's a good SL for this, in your opinion?
Stop loss for this, if we look at low on Thursday, the low here was 32.20. So with the current price, if you are entering, let's say at 34.5, your stop loss at 32 would be about $2.5 stop loss. With
Right.
if you're looking at 39 as profit, you're looking at 3.5 as the profit. So that's little over one is to one. It's about 1.1 is to 1.25 as
Correct.
the
Yep.
reward.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are looking at close to 49, then that would be one better risk to reward. But for 42, keep lesser quantity as that target. You can exit at 39, see how the market trend is, and then prefer to continue. Okay. Sunita, any questions for SQQ?
No, thank you. That's good. 39. Yeah, that's a good exit.
Okay.
Tuesday we have Fed meeting. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. This week CPI numbers are expected. So if the CPI numbers are not in favor, then you can expect more downtrend, which should help SQQ. Right?
Thank you. Yes.
This also makes SQQ preferable to hold this week, at least at the start of this week. Right? Yes, so we will now move to TSX. Or let's quickly complete SPX as well. Rather, let's get SPY. So for SPY, similar to DJI, it almost touched the super trend level on the weekly chart. Here close to 420. The high was 418.31. However, it didn't touch the super trend level. The indicators are in overbought region. Especially for SPY on the weekly chart, it looked like it could go a little further up. However, if we look on the daily chart, it has exactly the same pattern as Nasdaq. So the gap here on the SPY was less, almost it has closed the gap that had happened on Thursday. The gap down on Friday has closed that gap. With the indicators, the trend looks similar to what we saw on Nasdaq. Downtrend, at least at the start of the week, since the 200 EMA here on the daily chart is close to 399. Currently, it is at 411.6. So expecting about 12-point drop on SPY, which means at least 2 to 3 sessions easily correction in the coming week on SPY. It may not drop directly to 398. So this correction, if it happens, it could also be a small correction because the market was in bullish trend. So expecting it to drop under 400, it could take this week and also potentially sometime next week. But if you are holding any call position, uh, better to close your call position, and put looks more attractive, potentially of 2 weeks further expiry. So expiry of 17 Feb for those who are interested in trading options with strike price of close to 400. For those who are looking to re-enter, 395 is the super trend level, and most of the indicators are almost merging at close to 395. We look here, their high was 390 and low on this was 388. So 390 to 395 could be good re-entry price for those who are planning to hold SPY for long term or trading on the basis of SPY. In the coming week, put options would be good for those who are working on shorter expiries as well. Yeah, and also trading in the SPY futures. With the current trend on the daily chart, 2 weeks expiry put options could give quick returns if you are looking to take advantage of the bearish trend. Super trend level here was at 400. Yeah, so 400 would be a strong support for SPY. Super trend was flat at 400 for long time, and that has now found the EMA 200 level. Okay. Any questions on SPY? Are we good?
I think it started with GSP.
GSP, GSPIC.
Let me check. I don't recall.
GSPIC. Go
It's a GSP TSE.
GSP. Thank you, Damodar. The weekly chart. Okay. So different from what we saw on the US market indexes, the ESX looks still bullish. Volume is good. Although it's in the overbought region, it has broken this super trend level and has continued further up even in the last week. This super trend is upward. Histograms are still indicating further continuation up. Although Williams R and CCI has turned almost flat. In terms of the trend on the chart, the uptrend is still possible in the coming week on TSX. We look on the daily chart. Currently, it is at 20,758. The upper Bollinger Band is at 21,000. So, although it has been forming high at the same level in the last 4 sessions. There was drop in the US market on Friday, but that has not impacted much. Although it also had a gap down opening, but it has given a green closing. So on TSX, although it does have some effect of the US market, continuation up to closer to 21,000 can still be expected for TSX. The indicators are in overbought region, but if you are currently on positions on TSX, you could hold it for it to go another close to 200 points. It might touch 21,000 and then give a correction. It has been moving up and taking support at EMA 10 since start of this year. The bullish trend on TSX is much more stronger. It has not been even touching the mid Bollinger Band. It has been taking consistent support at EMA 10, which shows the strength in the TSX market. If you are holding any of your positions, you could keep a trailing stop loss and continue to see whether it goes another 200, 150 to 200 points, or even 250 to reach 21,000. 21,000, it was around these levels back in June, which could form the resistance. Consistently in the last 4 sessions, it has been forming almost similar highs, but has not been able to break further. But be on small quantity positions just to make sure that your upside, if you are already in profit, you take out your profit and hold some of your positions for the jump of 200 points, bringing it closer to 21,000.
Kamal, I just wanted to add that on TSX, I track 6 specific indexes, sectoral indexes. And as on Friday, financial services, IT, and banking were green. Energy was also green, but essentially it was just one green candle after a downtrend, and that too with a long upward price rejection. So I wouldn't really count that as a green day. Then materials and real estate were both red on Friday. Just wanted to add that to your comments.
That's great. Thanks, Gaurav, for adding that. That's good. Anything else? Any specific stock on TSX anyone would like to be analyzed?
Actually, I would like to ask, sorry, Kamal, Prasad here.
Yeah.
ENB, Enbridge, or Fortis are, it's more dividend paying, right? Little safer. So as a replacement for, even the GIC rates are pretty high now, right? 4.5%, 5%. So ENB is at around 55 right now, Enbridge.
Right.
It pays about 6%, I think, dividend around that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is it worth investing now? Because, the lows are usually upper 40s and the highs are, around 55, 57, 58.
Sure. So let me.
Because interest rates, they are not very tax efficient, right? GSEs.
Yes. Okay. So let's see ENB on the basis of chart where it is. And as you have noticed, you are right. It is currently sitting on the 200 EMA level close to 54. The last price was 54.38. And upper Bollinger Band is at 56. So if you are looking to enter ENB even at the current price, since it has been taking strong support, an upside of $2 is possible on ENB. If you are looking to hold this for long term because it pays dividend, and for holding for long term, I would suggest that you can wait for it to drop close to 52.75. So another about $1.50 drop. Since it pays quarterly dividends, so you have a last dividend it has paid out in October. If you are looking to get advantage of dividend, then you could enter just before a week before the next dividend payout. In terms of
usually after the dividend, the price drops, right?
yes, so after the dividend price drops because most people enter for getting the dividend and then they come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in terms of the trend for longer term, on the weekly chart, it's still on the downtrend. It had not touched its super trend level or even the upper Bollinger Band level close to 57.5 and has reversed downward. It's in the bearish trend. The indicators are down. On the weekly candle, it is showing taking support at the mid Bollinger Band level. That's why you see on the daily chart for almost over a week, it has been taking support at the same level. So on the weekly chart, it's at the mid Bollinger Band level, which is acting as strong support. For long term, you can expect some bearish trend continuation. If you want to buy and hold it for 6 months or over a year, letting it to fall further close to 52.5 would be better time to buy for long term. If you are planning to buy just for the dividends and the upcoming payout, you could enter at the current support price just for the sake of dividends.
Okay.
And
Kamal, on the day chart, just a question. It's been taking support on the EMA, that's fine, but I think from what I see on the day chart, it's also taking resistance on the 10 EMA.
on the upper side.
Yes. So, and that
10 and
because the
20.
10 EMA is pointing downwards, I don't know, probably it feels that, there's a more likelihood of the lower support breaking than the upper resistance breaking.
Yes, so that's absolutely correct, and that's why I'm not suggesting to buy for long term at the moment.
Correct.
Because I'm also expecting further drop, potentially going closer to 52.5 or even 52, as we saw in the weekly chart.
Right. And also, this I think this company is into energy, specifically gas.
Yeah.
So they are probably getting into their lower demand season. So typically, the way I look at these stocks is, a good time to buy them is mid to second half of the year, because once the winter comes in, their demand goes high. And then at this time of the year, it's a good selling time, because when your year-end results come in, they include the winter buys and all. So that would be a good time to actually sell.
Yeah, that's a very good point also mentioned by Gaurav, which you might have, if you have been attending GMT sessions, you might notice Vivek sir mentioning that start of winter here in Canada is good time to enter into the energy stocks, hold them during the winter period, and towards the end of winter, that is in the coming months, Feb, March, April, is good time to close your energy stocks position, because uh, this is
Okay,
the
thank
time
you.
that you would see them dropping, because the use of energy here in the winter months is more. So you can easily notice this trend for the energy stocks to go up during the winter period. Right?
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Right. So any other stock on TSX before we
Kamal, could we look at BMO on TSX, please?
yeah. Eh, yes, so Bank of Montreal has been on uptrend from past over 6 weeks. It's on the weekly chart, the super trend is at 137, which means about $2 further continuation. And upper Bollinger Band has turned up, which is even good. So Gaurav, have you entered BMO or are you looking?
Yes, I am in BMO. I have a position at I think around. I have one position at 132 and one at 133 point something.
Okay. Okay. So you are at 133. Then even though it is closer to upper Bollinger Band, you can expect it to go close to 135, 136. So I would say if you are looking for conservative target, looking at the uh, weekly chart super trend,
Mm-hmm.
we are seeing here, the weekly chart super trend is at 137. Okay, so another about $2 if you are looking for a conservative target from the daily chart.
Right.
It's at, look, this high was 136, so $1 less. 136 could be your conservative target, and if you are closely watching it, you could also look whether uh, it goes closer to 137, in which case you could keep your target as 136.8 or 136.9.
Fair enough. Thanks, Kamal.
Okay.
Hey, Gaurav, can I ask you something? So suppose it hits the 137, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you sell it normally or what do you do?
So what I do is typically I look at the what the charts look like. I normally have in TradingView I have alert set that it has hit this price, and then I look at the chart again, and if I feel that this is going to go ahead, I'll book my position partially and keep the next rest of the lot for the next move, with my stop loss as that because if it's moved ahead, I put that older target as my stop loss.
Oh, I
So,
see.
so yeah.
I have a big problem selling actually.
Okay, so I can maybe I should just ask Prasad. So, are you working or do you have some time during the market hours to watch closely?
No, I'm working, but my time is pretty tight. I cannot go this deep every day during the day.
Okay.
9:30 to 4, I cannot be that close to the market.
Right.
That's
So,
why for me it's pretty much long positions really.
okay. Yeah, understood. So, for someone like you, and I would say 80 to 90% of our GMT members are like you. So no different from the challenge that you are facing. So it's for members like you that we do this analysis. And based on this analysis, on whichever trading platform you have your position, be it Well Simple Trade or IBKR or Quest Trade, based on the analysis, you keep your target over the weekend itself. So you have already entered your position. You have identified your target based on the technical analysis. You don't even need to watch during the market hours. What you could do is, whenever you get time during the market hours or after the market, you check whether your target is hit or how far is it, and whether market is in this same bullish trend to hit your target. If it is, then you don't have to do anything. If the market trend has changed, then you change your target price. You reduce your target price, so your position gets, your profit gets booked, and you don't lose out on the profit. If you are using a platform like IBKR, Interactive Broker, it allows you to put target as well as stop loss price. So if it goes up, your target would get hit. If it goes down, your stop loss would get hit. There are other order types as well called trailing stop loss, which continues with the market trend, and your profit you could set in terms of percentage or in terms of dollar value. But those are like once you get comfortable with that platform.
Sounds good.
So on a simpler solution, you can look at keeping the targets. So you're not worried about losing on the profit. And also you will notice Vivek sir and other instructors in GMT here is that you don't have to worry about profit that you missed out because it went further up. You were looking for X dollar profit or X percentage profit. If it has hit that profit, your profit is booked, and that's the profit you are looking on that. So uh, being satisfied with that profit is also helps you to keep your account growing. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Kamal,
Great.
can you, will it be possible for you to go through FFN and RICO this
Yeah.
week?
FFN and RICO.
Yes.
So I was going to go to next. Gaurav, are we okay with BMO?
Yep, I'm good. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's now take FFN. FFN.to. Okay. FFN looks good, at least on the daily chart. Let's just quickly check on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, it has a super trend level close to 5.8, and it is currently at 5.6. Good thing is that the 200 EMA is close to 6.20. Nitya, are you already on it?
No, so what exactly I did, like as we discussed last weekend, that I entered on a Monday at 5.52 or 53 something. And then on a daily chart, if you see the super trend resistance is close to 5.63. So I exited on a Friday. I mean, as soon as it reached 5.63, I closed my profit.
Okay, that's good. So if you have already booked your profit, that's good.
Yeah.
And
That
if
was
you,
just a small quick trade.
yeah, that's good. So if you were able to make quick profit, that's uh, good for you and your portfolio. Now, if you're looking for re-entry, is your request for re-entry?
Yeah, sure. Like, because I was just going through the chart like yesterday as well, realized that there are some possibilities still there. If you look on the weekly basis, the super trend is at 5.8. Yes, so I'm expecting it to go to as high as 5.8 in a coming future. But I was a little bit confused with the entry point.
Right. Yeah. So with the current level, let's see on the daily chart, because you are looking for a quick trade. Even on the daily chart, upper Bollinger Band is at close to 6, and
Yeah.
200 EMA was 6.20. So there's still upside potential on this stock. For entry on this, it has been taking support at EMA 10,
Yeah.
and EMA 10 is at 550. So if you're looking at a quick trade of about 50 cents profit, and you are actively taking trade on this, so buy at around 5.5 and target of $6 for a 50 cents profit. If you are looking to enter for longer term, then you'll have to wait for it to drop at mid Bollinger Band or even further below mid Bollinger Band.
Okay. Yeah, because there is one gap somewhere near 4.7 or 4.2 something. So yeah, and normally it does happen with FFN at whenever it comes down to 5, it closes all of its gap between 4 to 5, and then it bounces back. So that is the best time that I have observed so far for FFN to make
Right.
the profit on the big scale in a less time.
Right.
And the same thing happened last month itself. So if you will observe on the weekly chart, last week, all it bounced from all the way from 4.29 to 5.3, a dollar profit in a span of 5 or 6 working or the market days.
Hey, can I comment on this type of split corps a little bit? The thing is, you know why? Because below 5, I think they don't pay distribution. All the
Yes,
split corps, right?
yes,
That's
yes,
why if it goes below, nobody gets the money. So people buy it so that they
yeah,
start receiving distribution.
yes, exactly. Yeah, I completely agree with this.
But this distribution, actually, this is meant for distribution though, right? This is not for actually capital gains. This type of instruments, right?
Yeah, I think that this is just for the distribution.
They pay pretty high, 10, 12%. I don't know what it is now, but
So no, it depends. So per stock, they are paying 11 cents. So last they paid in April, and then they paid in November. If you see this dividend, so last one was paid. They were paying on a monthly basis every time till April
right.
2022, but then they stopped and they started again in the month of November.
Yeah, because they hit they have rules on how they pay distribution. That's why.
Okay.
There are so many of them. If you go to Brompton funds, you will see many of them. Brompton also has oil, financials, different things of the split corps. But that's why they stop. But once it bounces back, they'll start paying again.
But if we don't even just consider about the dividend, like even when it goes below to that point, it's good entry point. It's a fair enough entry point, clear indication of bouncing it back from there.
Great. So for quick trade, you could consider. But one thing which I was about to add is that if you're entering at 5.5, keep your stop loss at 5.3. So 20-cent stop loss for a 50-cent profit.
And in how much time we can expect it to reach to 6?
So because we are looking this on the daily chart,
Yeah.
from the daily chart, it's at upper Bollinger Band, which means you can expect in about 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay, moving further on.
Hey, sorry, what was you saying? So 50 cents upside in 1 or 2 weeks? So 10% or 8% or so? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. and stop loss of 20 cents.
Okay.
So buy at 5.5, stop loss at 5.3, and target of 5.95 to be conservative so that your order executes. So that would be about 45 cents. This is Rico 1.39.
So actually, Kamal, for the Rico, for me, it is like, I'm trying to average it down to exit this stock.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am currently at a pretty high position, like around 5, and I feel like if I average it down somewhere to 1.6 or 1.7, I can clear my I might take out my uh, investment from this particular stock in a coming future.
Okay. So if you're looking to average down at current price, look to bring your average close to 2.4, as mid Bollinger Band is 2.4, and super trend, although it has not flattened out, maybe you can wait for super trend to flatten and then average your position. So
Okay.
you'll get a reference, although it is currently at 2.7, but it is still slightly downward.
Okay.
So keep watching it for super trend to flatten, then you can buy to bring down your average under the super trend. So you can keep super trend level as your target to exit in small profit or at break even.
Sure. So you just want me to keep it monitoring it for super trying to get flat
Yes,
on the weekly
on
chart.
the weekly chart.
Okay.
Kamal, also on the day chart, if you look at this, it is, I think what's this, 34. It's at 34 moving average, so it might just, take some resistance from there and move down. So,
Yes.
so it just complements your recommendation of not entering right now.
Right. Thanks for mentioning that. So I was looking at the super trend level because it was still downward. So it aligns with what you mentioned about uh, further downtrend.
Kamal, why not book loss and then re-enter when you're expected to flatten?
Because if you look at this on the weekly chart, it's almost at the same level.
Yeah.
It has not been dropping,
Yes.
right? And since he's okay to average down, which means he's not rushing. He has time to hold it,
Right.
and when it drops, he can buy at a lower price to average down and then come out at break even or small profit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a good point, Vivek, that I think it's a good point that when you're in a in a big position like this with a big gap,
Yes.
it makes sense to move out, because to sort of average down and then recover, you're pumping in more money, which you
Yes.
could have used into better positions. So,
Yes.
but it's it's everybody's thought and how you want to
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah.
But yes, normally many people don't recommend averaging down, especially in positions like this.
I've learned it hard way.
Oh, I've learned it the very hard way. I agree.
Yeah. So nowadays I'm okay to book loss rather than holding a bag where like my analysis has gone down like the other way than I expect. So I better book the loss where my stop losses are
and move on.
Okay. And move on. Yeah, then market definitely gives you an opportunity to re-enter and recover that loss rather than holding that back.
Good to know. I will keep this in mind. Thanks a lot.
Great. Good to both of you for alternative suggestion. Okay, so we'll now take 3 of the requests from Sunita on SOXS. I think on weekly chart it might be possible to see all these inverse ETF, especially the inverse ETFs on the weekly chart. Their charts are clear. Okay, so SO access similar to SQQ on CCI and Williams are there is a reversal, and based on what has happened in the last two sessions, with the current price, it's still good entry for first target at EMA 10, which is 23, and then super trend as well as mid Bollinger Band, which is close to 26. At current price of $20, even $3 and $6 is like 6 to 12% profit. So which would be good. So Sunita, are you already on this trade or are you looking to enter on SOS access?
Oh, I'm looking to enter.
Yes, we are looking to enter. Let us smaller time frame. 4 hours. 20.29. The mid Bollinger Band here is at 19.88. So see whether you get entry close to $20, 19.88, and you can hold it for 23 or 26 as targets. Although in the aftermarket it has closed about 20, it could give you a chance to buy under 20. You can keep your buy order on this account and then hold it for
19.88. Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
This mid Bollinger Band and EMA 10 are at 19.9, close to 19.9. That could be your buy price. If you are okay to buy even at 20, you can keep your buy price at 20, hold it for the targets that we saw daily chart. EMA 10 would give you 6% profit, EMA 20 or Super 10 would give you close to 12% profit with target of 23 and 26. If the downtrend continues, it could go further up, but I think booking profit at mid Bollinger Band and then waiting to see how the market moves would be better, especially for this inverse ETFs, SOXS and SQQ.
So does that mean that semiconductor industry is going to drop in the next few weeks by 10%?
Yeah, so this is 3 times. So this
right.
SOXS and SQQ, these are 3 times inverse ETF. So if I'm saying it will SOXS will drop by 12%, which means semiconductor will drop by 4%. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So Sunita, are we good to move to IWM?
Yes, please. Yes, thank you.
IWM. Let's see. So trend wise, it looks similar to NASDAQ. Oh, Russell 2000. Yeah, it has on the weekly chart, it touched the 200 EMA, which has acted as the resistance. Super trend level was 198.8. It had gone up to 199.26. So the super trend would act as resistance. On the daily chart, it had gap down. The candle formed is gravestone doji. You can see volume as red, which means it has closed lower than previous day. Williams R, CCI, and RSI has dropped. So the analysis for IWM looks very much similar to Nasdaq. There's a small gap down which was closed by this week, but you can still expect it to drop, at least come up to EMA 10, which if you notice here, it has been consistently taking support at EMA 10. And the EMA 10 for this is 191.55. Currently at 196.75, can easily expect about 5.20 cent drop. And then depending upon the market trend, whether it drops further. But at the current price, you can easily expect drop of close to 5%. So if you are looking to enter this, I would suggest to look for any inverse ETF for Russell 2000.
RWM.
RWM.
Yeah, that's the inverse of IWM.
Okay. Yeah, look at inverse. It has touched the lower Bollinger Band. Lower Bollinger Band has flattened, almost becoming a support. On Thursday, it had closed there. On Friday, it opened and got pulled up. The indicators have flattened here. And the histogram has almost flattened, and you can at the Monday's session, if it goes further up, you can see the MACD also reversing now. So because MACD is delayed indicator, so depending upon the upward move, you will see clear uptrend from the MACD. In terms of entry, if you are looking to enter at the current level, previously EMA 10 has acted as resistance for RWM, and if we expect RWM EMA 10 to even drop further down, because it's showing a downtrend. So currently at 22.4, even if it drops, you could easily expect 22.2, 22.3 to be target if you enter at the current price. Then the next targets would be close to 22.9, and super trend is for this is at 23. So even entry at the current price gives you more than $1 profit if you're looking to hold up to mid Bollinger Band or super trend. Because it is
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
because
you.
it is not a leveraged ETF.
Yeah,
So
it's not that much.
yeah, at the similar price levels, you could get better
Do lot.
percentage returns with the leverage ETF, right?
Yes, yes. I think SOX is better.
Yes, so access on the similar analysis, you will get better percentage return.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so let's take CPB. I'll just quickly check on the weekly chart. Weekly chart has been on downtrend for quite some time. Candles with company. Looking at the weekly chart, although the last week has been a doji, if you are looking to hold for few months, I would suggest that it's better to wait for it to come down to the 200 EMA level, close to 48. Currently, it is at 50.76. Could get some small support close to 50, but it can further drop below 50, and buying around 48 and then holding for few months would be better.
Okay.
On the if you're looking for quick trade on the daily chart, it has taken support at 200 EMA on the daily chart, and this last candle is in favor. If you are looking for quick trade, then you'll have to enter at the current price with the target at this level where it had faced resistance at EMA 50, which is 53.5, and the mid Bollinger Band is 52.5. So keeping small target of around $1.5 could be your entry, although the super trend is at 53.65, it has not completely flattened. So this would be just quick trade that you enter at the market open tomorrow for about $1.5 profit.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I think I have ND. Okay, this is Gaurav's favorite.
Right. Yeah. So this one, last time we discussed it, I took a position, closed it at when it hit that moving average, and then I've taken a fresh position now. I think it's at 59.7. Looking for the gap closure.
Yeah. So on the last session, it has touched the mid Bollinger Band close to 61. But yes, this gap is still an opportunity. So your next target could be close to 61.8.
Yep.
The low here was 61.5. So you can keep your target 61.5 to 61.8. Keep at 61.8. If it doesn't execute, then you can reduce it. Close around 61.5. So which is another about $1 from the current price.
Correct. Yeah.
Anything else on this?
No, not really. I'm just looking at gap closure. So
yeah.
Thanks, Kamal.
Problem, it has been facing resistance at this 200 EMA level. So this going further up can be expected to close this gap. It's just that because it has been facing resistance at this level, whether it breaks the resistance in the coming few sessions or not, what you need to be watchful. So keep a stop loss. The low of this was 58.9. So keep a stop loss at 58.9 or little lower, just in case it doesn't break this resistance level and drops down. Although you can expect this gap to get closed, so your target to hit, but in case it doesn't break this resistance, your stop loss will save from further loss.
Right. And I'm not sure if I see it on your chart, but on my chart, I see that last two sessions, it's consistent. For both the last two sessions, it's closed above the 10 moving average. So that's giving me some, some confidence that it might just move up.
Yeah, so the EMA 10 in the last session was 60.52. It has closed at 60.55. So few cents out above EMA 10.
Correct.
You're right. On the chart, it's not visible.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. That helps, Kamal.
Great. Okay, so with that, we are almost at 12. If there are any further requests, you can post it in the group and I'll find some time to analyze and share with that. Any last comments or queries from anyone? If there are no queries, thank you everyone for joining for this analysis session. I hope this analysis helps in the coming week, which we mostly expect to be bearish. So if you are on inverse ETF, it would be good. If you are on your profitable trades from your long positions, from your bullish positions, you can book most of your profits and keep only small quantity of your positions, because we are expecting the bearish trend. And if you are looking to enter for the further bullish trend, uh, wait and watch for this week. When we meet next week, you can see whether it's good time to enter for your further um, long position. So with that, thank you all for joining for the analysis sessions. For those who are interested in the upcoming course, we will be starting our new batch from the next week. Maybe we'll start that session in about 10 minutes, or no, rather 15 minutes. So we'll start that session at 12:15. So if interested, please feel free to join, or share with your friends to join our upcoming batch course. With that, thank you all and hope you all have a profitable week. Take care and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Kamal.